I am going to walk in here back to my dinghy this morning. I wanted to do a little precursor to this video because I, thank you Google, got some footage off of the old phone finally. So I've started the video with that and then continued on with dinghy repair. So there you go. Now 11 o'clock. I left 2 hours ago from over there. Let's see. Hotels end, and you can't really see the land over there, but basically right off the spit of that is where I started. You can see, I don't know if you can see the bridge over there or not, but that's the point I'm trying to get around. And the wind basically died right after I set out. And I sat with everything pointed out with my jib, Genoa, not a jib, just my Genoa, but the wind was too light. So I put that down, and it took me about, well, so far, about an hour to put that up and get that set. And now, here we are going at 0 knots still. It's fantastic. But I do have steerage of a kind, so that's something. I don't know if you can see my track wobbling in there. Basically dropped my sail there and then drifted, setting things up, and then get my spinnaker up, and now I'm trying to make some headway, and it looks like I am. Very, very slowly, and that's okay. Well, boys and girls, ladies and germs, here I am. There's one spit of land to the south. There's Boca something or other. And that's the Gulf. So, heading out and turning north. Winds are right. My gut said to pull up an anchor about a half an hour before I did, just because I was being overcautious maybe. A little silly. But yeah, in general, it's been a good morning. Get out here, the wind's going to be supposed to be nice and smooth in a northerly direction all day, especially starting about 9 o'clock. It's 7:52 right now, and I am still slowly passing through between the spits out the mouth of something or other, I don't know. A little trepidatious, which is smart, because, you know, it's dangerous out there. You gotta be prepared for shit. I feel like I'm pretty prepared for everything. So, here I go. Very professional and editing in bed. Because, yeah, that's me. Anyway, here is the break, because I gave you a little bit about the dinghy being stolen and a little bit about my camera or my phone dying in the last video. And this is kind of the break between the footage from the trip to after I got my new dinghy. So, it's break. Well, just got back from town. It's a little later on. There's the new dinghy. Came with wheels. Helps keep it pointed straight, but definitely slows it down. Slightly bigger. So, small favors, small pluses. Swam to shore through a rip current. Jumped off the back and let go, and then spent 5 minutes getting back to the boat instead of going out to sea that direction. Well, actually, more that direction. And then came back on board and took a rest, jumped off the front, pulled my way down the anchor line to shore, which is over there, and picked up, had to swim about 20 yards to get to where it's shallow enough to stand up. Had my shoulders above the water and walked the rest of the way in. Guy and his dad came out and hooked me up with the boat. Got in, came to come back out here, and the oar scuppers promptly fell off. So there were several patch kits in there with enough glue. So I went and got some alcohol, prepped it, and repaired it. And so now I'm back on the boat. I don't know what time it is. So that's a win. Got a ride tomorrow to go do laundry. That's a win. Once I figure out the exact location I'm going to, I can get towed over with Boat Tow US membership. That's taken care of. So moving forward. Oh, and I contacted someplace about rebuilding the rudder cheeks, which is what those are called, cheeks. So yeah, but came with a bunch of stuff. Had to buy some alcohol, and now it's locked to the boat as well as up, and we'll see if that helps. Hopefully it does. I don't know, the interior's been cleaned and messed up already, so not much going on there. Grabbing all the dirty laundry and prepping for tomorrow. It's been a long day. Here I am. Got to remember which side of the camera to look at. Here I am. This is Brandon. Here in Anna Maria?
Anna Maria, Florida, yes.
Yes. I met him a couple of days ago when my bicycle was having trouble, and pulled into a shop, and he hooked me up and we made friends, and today he has been my chauffeur, running me around for laundry and getting my cheeks fixed for the boat and a bunch of other stuff.
Not every day you get to do laundry with Bigfoot.
This guy's awesome. Thank you so much for everything.
Absolutely, brother. I'll keep updated on your travels, and I absolutely wish you the best.
Thank you. And next time I'm around, I will definitely look you up.
I'll be here.
All right. Okay, here I am trying to figure out what's going on with this. There's the best drawing of what I would like to get. Something like that. But see what happens. My friend has been driving me around, my new friend, and trying to move forward. I will be hanging out in the hammock today after I clean up. There's a lot of cleanup. During my tow, the whole boat was getting pounded around and bounced so much that there's all this damage everywhere where stuff has come disconnected and not attached anymore, and I'm looking at how I can investigate this without taking it all apart. But yeah, at the same time, doing dishes, cleaning up. But yeah, there's it goes back there a significant distance. And that's all good, but then that's shifted, and that wasn't that shifted before. This door won't close. And yeah. So here I am. I got permission from the contractor to do this on the construction site over the weekend when I'm not bothering anybody. So there's my new dinghy. I've already had to reattach these, which did not get the best job on, due to that I did it on that beach. But then now I have full separation. It's just not good. Just not good. At all. So my plans for going shopping are paused to work on this. If I can get it to set up, locked in, then I can clean it, set it, glue it, go do my shopping run. Yeah, there's a boat in the background, and practically walk to it at this point. And yeah, get the transom reattached. Don't know that I'm ready to pull these to reattach them, but if I'm doing that, it might be prudent. But yeah, oh, the joy. It would be nice to have a waterproof camera. I would have filmed that whole thing. But that's about 6.5 feet deep there, and right over there it's much shallower. I basically walked into where I could hook the anchor line with my foot, and then I pulled the boat to me, and then climbed up on the back. So, get to walk back in the morning and finish the repairs on my dinghy after it's had a chance to fully dry out, now that it's mostly clean. There's my boat, a couple of people going by, my hat's hanging in the tree. Got my bike, here's my dinghy. Been here for 2 days, sitting like this. I pulled that cloth out that was in here, holding this open so that it would breathe. But you can see here, if I can hold the phone, you can see here, and of course that's messing up that corner there. But yeah, it's let's just say that it's a little loose on both sides. So what ends up happening is that this is all disconnected, that's disconnected, this whole bottom is disconnected inside and out. So I need to let that dry out a little bit more because it's still a little damp inside. And then my plan is to epoxy resin this, although that's pretty damn rotten and wet. Can't even hold the phone right. That's pretty rotten and wet. I'm not sure how far out. That goes out to here, but how far out down before the break happens is the question. But that's sitting and drying. We've got this glorious bird here that I made friends with when I repaired the dinghy the day that I got it and had to put the oar handles back on. And he walked right past me, or she walked right past me. I think it's a he, the crest. I was sitting right here, working on that dinghy, and he walked past here. Next thing I know, he's up there hanging out with me. So, good morning, friend. Right now I'm about, what, 25 feet from him? But he hung out for a couple hours with me, so he knows I'm cool. And then this morning I had a lizard in my bucket that had just a little bit of the soapy water in it, something soaking, and he was basically, it was just deep enough that he had to have 2 hands up on the side on the ridge to keep his head out of the water, and everything else was soaked. And I let him go up here so he could be warm and safe. Oh, there he is. Oh, I don't know if you can see him there. Let's see, there he is. Ah, that little guy. About the size of my finger. Out of there, and he promptly went to sleep on my hand. And yeah, such is life. But today I go in to get my second shot, which I've been warned is usually the one that makes people react a little bit more flu-like, and that I should be back on my boat within a few hours so I can at least sleep well. And then I gotta do that. I gotta figure out some penetrating epoxy for there. I reconnected with the engine guy. I'm gonna call him, talk to him after 6 o'clock tonight and get that set up. I found a couple of motor options and other options as an in case, and we'll see. But for an FYI, walking back and forth from my boat takes about 25 minutes, walking through the current. And right now it's sitting out there in about 8 feet of water. And so I just used the anchor line to pull myself in. And of course, depending on where you're pulling from is what direction the boat goes. So I just walked it down the side and pulled my boat over to where it was about 3.5, 4 feet of water. There's a nice ridge out there, sandbar ridge, and I'm just on top of the sandbar, which at low tide, right there, is about 5 foot. I just jumped in and walked to shore. So this afternoon I'll have to walk back. Of course, right now it's low tide. Tide's starting to come in, so hopefully I'll be able to do that without too much difficulty. All right, there's my transom, taken apart. There's the parts, the other side of the thing. That goes on the inside, that goes on the outside. This is the slip board for underneath the floating floor that locks it into place. It was starting to separate and rot. Had a big old chip come out of it, so I fiberglassed it. Here's the rest of the dinghy, fiberglass tools. There we go. So, it's all been cleaned. It'll have to get a final wipe, but as dirty as it looks in there, that's actually clean enough for glue. It's been acetoned and scrubbed and everything else, so that should be good. And I get to keep moving on. I get to rebuild that transom. The workers here have generously offered me some wood, which I'm going to use that, and probably the piece that's on the back of my boat to strip the edge, basically give me the thickness all the way around that I need. So basically I'll have a double piece here, double piece there, and a double piece across the top. Maybe I'll just strip it down and just do a full piece. We'll see. But that's the first step. That only took 2 hours. You can tell there's a good riptide going on from the color. Wasn't that color when it came in. It's all getting stirred up from the rip current rolling through. That's what's pushing my boat over to the side. Not with the wind. But yeah, not a bad little beach section area. But the thought of going out to get one more thing right now is not smart. Something like that. Well, that's pretty close. That's decent. Now I'm going to test fit it into the dinghy. And then I'm going to take that long piece and cut it into strips to go across it to give me the thickness I need. Okay, so this slips in there and in there somehow. That looks pretty good. That's pretty good. fits in, edge to edge, fills it in, holds that in tight. I had to deflate this side to get it in, but pulling them in together, that's perfect. Now, I'm going to deflate the other side, make it easier to get it out and in, and I'm going to go cut the other pieces and laminate it together. So that much rotted off the corners, which made everything else weaker and allowed enough flex that you pulled all the vinyl apart. Okay, marked out one side, the other side, go on there. This is the piece that goes underneath. Just a little bit of micro balloons in there to smooth it out. Came by with my knife to smooth it out rather than sand it. Might hit that spot a little bit more. You got to hit it at the right time, and it's still a little soft and cuttable. But I'm going to do the other side. Then I'm going to laminate that together. And then I'm done for the day. Tricks that I've learned is that when it's still soft, it's hard to do holding the camera. You can come by, and I've done most of the cleanup. Oop. Figure out what's going on there. With a sharp knife coming through and getting the big chunks off to make sanding easier later. Save a little time sanding by just doing a little scrape job ahead of time. And now I'm going to put the phone down so I can finish. It's the next morning, and I'm getting ready to head in. Wanted to show I've got stairs that I put down to get out of the water when I come back. Low tide tonight is about 20 minutes after sundown. So, that makes it fun. Looks like I drug anchor last night in the wind. Actually, with the tide and everything else, I've been running back and forth about 30 yards. But there's the blue house. There's the sun. It's a beautiful space. Beautiful spot to be. This just needs a coat of paint to seal it. Of course, I've already dripped on it because I started too early. And this one, I'm going to pull all this off, clean that up. Of course, it's nice and hard now. But, and then do that side. But this side, and it's like plastic. I'll put plastic over it. That'll help it. Well, if you use the right kind of plastic, yeah. But I guess I got something to do for a little while. And then I get to hit it with a grinder to make it smooth, because, you know, did not work as intended. But the important thing is this part over here, if I can get to it, right down the center here. Hold the phone right down the center here, that seam where the two pieces cross was really trying to bubble up a lot. And so I figured this would be the bit, seal it all in so that air wouldn't get into it. And yeah, focus the phone, Bigfoot. Holding the phone in one hand and trying to work in the with just one. A little bit shall we say annoying? Well, difficult. Well, you gotta grind it anyway.